Okay, so this particular one, as you know, we've just adjusted the order so that people can get away to the 4:30 meetings that are on, or 4 o'clock meeting in my case, and the 4:30 meeting in your case. If I could invite Joanna Gould to come forward, and it's submission number 122, which is on page 202. Hi, welcome.
Hi. Good afternoon, Mayor, councillors. Since my last LTP submission last year, I have continued to research why a new community centre is needed at 10 Shirley Road. As part of my submission today, I have included my reports that I emailed to Sarah Wiley and Peter Burley to explain why building a new facility is so important for the community's identity, wellbeing and learning opportunities in this area. Thank you. Any questions?
Oh, right, okay. Well,
I know I've only got 5 minutes, so make it easy for you.
No, it's a tremendous amount of detail that you've put in there. Some amazing images that you have included in your submission. I mean, I was incredibly impressed with it. There was, and you've saying that it should pick up the Shirley Library and the service centre, etc. And I think that was something that was picked up by the community board this morning as well. So I won't. Oh, okay, all right, yeah. And I mean, it's already got a location at the mall, so it may not be possible. But look, who would like to open up the questions? Sorry, you caught me by surprise. Usually people give a bit more than that. And Aaron.
Yeah, it was one I didn't ask Ali this morning when she had suggested that potential option, but certainly it's a conversation worth having with the community, is would they like to see it moved or not? Because you wouldn't have two within a kilometre of each other.
No.
But you can't expand the one round by the Palms.
No.
And so my question that I didn't get to ask Ali, but would be one to put to the community, would be would the community support selling the site that's there to pay for the other facility?
That's what I already suggested in my long-term plan submission, because I researched what the Palms were doing, and
I thought to expand, yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't expand there, and Shirley Library's doing an amazing job. They're busting at the seams basically, and they're doing a great outreach in the community. It's basically become our community centre, but it is struggling with space. And I know Dallington are looking for a space for their community centre as well, and so while I was researching all the libraries, I went and did a tour of them all and talked to all the librarians and asked what was needed and what they suggested, and I went to some of the volunteer libraries, and what I realised was for Dallington and Burwood it would be better off them having a volunteer library that could engage the older population in their zones, and the major library be shifted to Shirley opposite the school, because the school actually does really want it, and it's involved with all the kindies and high school that's remaining as well. So
Yeah, cool. I mean, I think you've done an incredible amount of work. I mean, one of the things though, you know, and I do shudder every time I hear another mall wants to expand. You know, there was another one in the paper yesterday. So, you know, do we really have to give in to these malls just getting bigger and bigger and bigger while our central city has challenges?
Well, we don't actually need to sell it to them all. I mean, it could be open up to the public, and another property developer might find it an interesting site as well. So there's plenty of options.
Okay, so any other questions? Glenn and Yanni?
Yeah, thank you, Joanna, for your submission, and I've heard your views on this before, so it's good. For Dallington, there's been considerable loss already, so I'm just thinking through their eyes, you know, how do you see how this would be?
That's why I suggested that we actually, I put a post on my 10 Shirley Road website that suggests that we actually create two different opportunities for the specific communities, because Dallington and Burwood are obviously older populations, so a volunteer library is awesome. The ones that I went to, the older people there, it gave them something to do, it gave them a purpose, so I don't see it as a negative for the Dallington people. I think it's a positive because it actually suits who they are and their needs.
Yeah, probably at a high level, coming out with that cliched win-win would be good, rather than a gain for one
Yeah,
loss for the
and
other.
that's why after talking to you, I thought, well, how do we actually do this that
Yeah.
benefits all the communities? Because
Yeah.
I don't want to take away from another community to help
Yeah.
out our community. And I realised by
Yeah.
moving if you actually have a look at the libraries paying, the Edgware and Mariehow communities aren't actually in the radiuses
Yeah.
for being close enough to local libraries. So just moving it slightly west would actually bring them into a space that they could
Yeah.
actually access the library better.
Long way to go, but you won't see mayors there supporting closing their library, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yanni?
Thank you. In your submission, you touch about the number of bus routes that go past Tinshilly Road,
Yeah.
but there's no discussion about having a PT hub or a suburban bus lounge. I just wondered if you had considered that in any way.
That has been suggested for around the Palms because that is where the majority of the buses actually connect up with. So that has been, I've found research that's supporting having a bus exchange opposite the Palms.
Right. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Good. Well, look, thank you very much for your time. I mean, you may not have spent time on your presentation, but the amount of work that you put into writing your presentation, presenting it the way that you have, it's outstanding. So thank you very much.
Much